welcome to another video. Today we are being the villain, not because we're playing Runicks, but because we're playing Runicks with Legendary Fisherman. This is an unstoppable anime tier deck. Alright, so here's the plan. We're winning by milling our opponent out. It is possible for us to kill our opponent using Fisherman, but our goal here is to just use Fisherman to infinitely block our opponent and win with Runick deck out. And that is why we're being the villain, because deck out is a very evil win condition. Alright, so we set the Huggin on field, we got the field spell, we got a call by, we got an ice barrier, and our opponent is playing Cyber Dragons. And we're going to make our first mistake here. Searching with the Runick tip, going to get a flashing fire. That is not in itself a mistake. Well, the mistake's coming, you'll see. Now we know our opponent's playing Cyber Dragons. They got Cyber Dragon, aka Cyber Dragon Core, going to search for a Cyber Spell, and we don't want that, so we're going to negate it. Now remember, our plan is just to stop our opponent from doing things until we can get a Legendary Fisherman on field. Opponent trying to search for a Cyber Dark Spell. We're going to call by Banish. See if the Cyber Dragon player gets through. Now Cyber Dragons does have a lot of ways to pop spells. So they have a Fusion Monster, and also they have a lot of ways to get rid of monsters in the extra monster zone. Using Chimera Tech Mega Fleet, you can use a monster in the extra monster zone as material for the Mega Fleet. So they stole our Huggin. Our beautiful Huggin has been stolen and turned into this Mega Fleet Dragon. Luckily we got Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier later on will let us search for a piece of the Fisherman. Let's finish by activating Flash and Fire and get ourselves a Moonin, but I think I made a little misclick here. Oh, never mind. I drew all three. Alright, we're good. We're all good. Let's activate the Ice Barrier because we got Fisherman in hand. We can get the Fisherman online. And there's no mistake. That Fisherman is the best line. We got Fisherman 1, Fisherman 2, Fisherman 3. We're going to use Moonin to summon our Fisherman. Opponent, pause briefly. They're like, what is this? What is this nonsense? And they let it go. We get the Legendary Fisherman, banish our opponent's Chimera Tech. And we gotta skip our battle phase. We can't Fusion Destiny because of our Ice Barrier in their last turn, but that's okay. Ice Barrier is definitely worth it. You got Fisherman now. Now our opponent, do they have an out to the Fisherman? That's the question. I know Cyber Dragons does play a Kaiju, but looks like opponent didn't read. Attacking the Fisherman, thinks he can destroy it. No, Fisherman cannot be destroyed by your puny Cyber Dragon. Well, let's activate Fusion Destiny. Get ourselves a DPE. Start popping our opponent's field. And opponent activate an overflow. They had this overflow before. They could have popped the Fisherman too, but they didn't know to be afraid. See, opponents never know to be afraid of the Fisherman too. Let's activate DPE in response. Pop himself. Pop one of our opponent's monsters. And this overflow cannot pop the Fisherman. So Fisherman is safe. They pop the field spell. We got another one in hand. We don't have any Runick spells going on right now. Anyway, we're on the Fisherman plan right now. Let's get beaten down. Set this Imperm. And let's see what the opponent can do here. Opponent. You're going to deal with Fisherman plus DPE. Now, fun fact about Fisherman DPE. You can pop the Fisherman instead of the DPE to get yourself a free pop. DPE doesn't have to get popped. Fisherman can't be popped. He's undestroyable. We'll draw another Runick Fountain here. Not useful right now, but we're in beatdown mode. And here's where I make a mistake. I'm like, lethal damage. If I use Fisherman's secret mode, you can unbanish your opponent's graveyard to do extra damage. It'll double the next attack damage, and that would be lethal. That would be a lethal damage attack with double boosted attack points. But if we look here in the graveyard, or the unbanished zone, well, we're going to unbanish a card, and I'm not going to spoil it. You'll see. You'll see what happens. We're going to go straight to battle. We unbanished our opponent's Electromagnetic Turtle. That means he's going to negate our battle phase, and we're not going to do any damage. This is not ideal. We could have done a lot of damage there. Not lethal damage, but it would have been a lot. And instead, we unbanished our opponent's graveyard, giving them a lot of tools to work with. Give him some Cyber Dragons back. Give him a Cyber Dragon Core, which has an effect in graveyard. So we may have made a huge mistake. Alright, you know what? We believe in the Fisherman. Do not stop believing. Do not stop believing in the Fisherman. Opponent thinks he can get back. Summoning that Cyber Dragon from the field. We're going to use DPE to pop it. And opponent has another Cyber Dragon. We're going to negate the Cyber Dragon. Opponents use their normal. They've used their graveyard effect. Hopefully this was enough. Opponent linking into Mirage. And activating Overload Fusion. This is not good. 5 monsters, or 3 monsters banished to make a Rampage Dragon. Rampage gonna send a Cyber Dragon to the graveyard from the deck and get a Cyber Dragon in hand. And their one of the cards in hand is Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier gonna summon itself and another Galaxy Soldier added to the hand. And they're gonna level 5 XC into Cyber Dragon Nova. And we're in trouble now. And you're gonna see why we're in trouble, because there's some outs to the Fisherman, and one of the outs you're about to find out is Cyber Dragon Infinity targeting the Fisherman and sucking him, making him a material. This is one of the only outs to the Fisherman. It is a monster effect that does not destroy, sucking up the Fisherman. And now we got no Fisherman, and we're in trouble. Cyber Dragon's finding the out to Fisherman. Well, don't worry, we got anime protagonist powers. We're going to draw Flashing Fire, DPE back on the field. DPE also reducing our opponent's Cyber Dragon Infinity's attack points, so we can attack over it. Let's try and bait a negate. Opponent not falling for it. Let's go to battle, pop that Infinity, get his negates offline, activate DPE. Opponent going to try and protect the Cyber Dragon from getting popped, but we got Flashing Fire. Flashing Fire going to pop the Cyber Dragon before it can get protected. And we're going to draw a single card. Let's draw our one little card here with the Runick Field Spell. DP is going to come back later. And maybe we're not in trouble after all. Opponent thought they got through the Fisherman, but Fisherman cannot be stopped. We got Runick Tip in hand. This is probably the best Runick spell. It is a Pot of Greed, plus any Runick interaction. So, get DP back on field. Opponent is special summoning a Cyber Elton. Well, that would be pretty cool. It is going to send all other face-up monsters to the graveyard, but DPE is faster. DP going to pop himself, pop that Elton, not get sent to the graveyard. Getting sent would stop DPE reviving himself. Not ideal. DP going to come back, but opponent's out of action. Now it's Runick Tip time. Give him the tip. Search for the Smiting Storm. Special summon a Gary the Runick Fangs and Pot of Greed. Nice little Pot of Greed, and now our deck is getting very heavy with the Runicks. We just draw 2 Ash Blossoms, but drawing another Runick Tip here. Going to be another Pot of Greed, and we're running out of non-Runick cards in the deck. We can dig for that Fisherman. Get a nice little Fisherman 2 going on. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's Runick Slumber. Make our opponent banish 5 cards. Or 3 cards, sorry. Do a little Pot of Greed. And where's the Legendary Fisherman 2? Alright, you know what? He's in here. We got 3 copies of him. But opponent not willing to wait for Legendary Fisherman to come back. They are done. Alright, well, that was a very close duel. Almost lost it by getting a little greedy with the Legendary Fisherman unbanished. If you want to see the full deck list, I'll have it at the end of the video. But for now, let's go on to the next game. Alright, let's go. We got a very interesting hand here. Some Fisherman pieces, some Ice Barriers, some Foolish Bale Goods, and our opponent's playing Branded. Now, Branded is interesting. They do not have a lot of ways to deal with spells, so the Runick part of the game plan is pretty safe, but Fisherman 3 can get banished by Mirror Jade, so we're going to have to make sure Mirror Jade's not going to be banishing the Fisherman. Opponent is making the Mirror Jade, as expected. Tragedy going to search for a Jester, and they haven't normal summoned yet, so they're going to normal summon, get their Branded in red, and we're going to have to find a way to stop this Ice Blade, because he's going to banish our stuff, and draw an Imperm, pretty key here. Let's Imperm the Mirror Jade so our Fisherman cannot get banished. Activate the Foolish Barrel Goods. Opponent is going to activate Mirror Jade anyway. Going to send to the graveyard from extra deck as cost, so probably just hoping to get the effect of that Albion in graveyard. Now we sent, hold on a second here, we sent a Freezing Curse to the graveyard. Now why did we do that? Because if you have all the pieces you need already, Foolish Barrel Goods just sending a Runick card to the graveyard lets you draw an additional card when you get that field spell going. So let's get the Huggin. Huggin lets us discard the Ice Barrier, and that's going to be pretty key for later. Let's activate Runick Fountain. And we're going to Smiting Storm banish 3 cards from our opponent's deck, and get ourselves a little pot of greed. Also baiting out the opponent's interaction. If they branded in red and special summon the Chimera, we got our Huggin online already. Opponent getting special summoning, making the Chimera. Now they had a window to do this that was a bit better, but they're going for it now. Gonna get a nice little pot of greed, +1, draw 3 cards. Opponent gonna try and pop the field spell, but Huggin not gonna allow that. Opponent got a lot of triggers. A lot of triggers on the stack. Chainlink 4. Summoning the Mirror Jade back onto the field. Not ideal. This Mirror Jade is not negated. Stop that Chimera from banishing the field spell. Get us a nice little triple pot of greed here. And we can't summon the Fisherman yet. Now we could have. We could have gone Ice Barrier. Normal summon the Fisherman using Runick Tip. But Mirror Jade would banish him. So we gotta wait. We're gonna Jabate him. We're gonna set this Ash Blossom. Opponent gonna activate Mirror Blade now because they're scared. Scared of the Ash. Get banishing that Ash Blossom, and it looks like we're in trouble. But you'll see. We got the Tip. The Tip is the best part of the Runick engine because you can search any card and you pot of greed. But let's see if the opponent can get through though. Gesture gonna summon itself, get a branded in red, and they're going to battle. Let's activate the Tip. Search for Flashing Fire. Flashing Fire can pop a special summon monster. Let's pop that Mirror Jade. Activate the Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed mode. Drawing into more Runick spells, and now we can get the Droplet. Summon the Gary. Gary gets attacked. When he's destroyed, pop the Chimera. And now we're only taking 18 damage. 1800 damage, not that bad. We got rid of 2 Mirror Jades. Opponent making another Mirror Jade. No. They are going into Albion Branded Dragon. And are they going to Fusion Summon again? They are using from the field and graveyard. Making a Masquerade though, not a Mirror Jade. Hopefully they're thinking they're going to burn us out now. They're thinking they're, 6,200 life points. I'm going to get that burn damage. Well, opponent, we got a surprise for you. It's Fisherman time. Let's activate Foolish Barrel Goods. Activate Runick Destruction. But we're not destructing anything. We're summoning a Moonin. And now, it's Fisherman time. Opponent, what are you doing? Branded in red. They're going to do another Fusion Summon. Opponent doesn't know it's Fisherman time. Adding a card to hand there. It is a Despian Comedy. And going into another Masquerade, they're going to make us pay taxes. 1200 damage to activate an effect. So let's just get straight to Fisherman. Activate the Ice Barrier in the graveyard. Get that Fisherman. Summon the Fisherman 2, and let's clear the field. Fisherman 3, Inherent Summon. His effect to banish. Banishes the entire field, skip the battle phase, and that's it. It's Fisherman time. Opponent, what can you do? Do you have an out to the Fisherman? Fateful Adventure means they got Adventure Engine. Now, the only adventure card that I'd be worried about is the one that returns cards to hand, but nobody plays that one, so we're probably safe. Opponent getting the right. We are worried about another Mirror Jade. We've seen 1 Mirror Jade so far, I believe. We saw 2. 1 Mirror Jade. 1 Mirror Jade so far. So the opponent usually Despia players will have 2 Mirror Jades at least. Going into Lubellion. Special summoning. Now we're not worried because we can call by to banish the Mirror Jade from the graveyard to negate it. Opponent going for that Mirror Jade. Alright. Opponent activating Dracoback. Not really sure what that's all about. Now, we are kind of forced to make a play here. If opponent's going to return a card to hand, we won't be able to activate our Runick spells. So, let's get going. Force some action out of the opponent. Pop the Mirror Jade. Is opponent going to activate in response? Opponent not activating. Either they can't or they don't want to. Meaning we didn't used to use our call by there. Mirror Jade effect is going to activate. Going to destroy all monsters in the end phase. But Fisherman cannot be destroyed. So that's going to do nothing to him. Let's do a nice little single pot of greed. And opponent is going to try and return Fisherman. Opponent. Dracoback can't return Fisherman because it's a spell, and Fisherman cannot be destroyed by battle card effects and is unaffected by spell or trap effects. You got no out to the Fisherman opponent. Pop in their last Despia. Mirror Jade is going to make it so they got nothing. Let's skip our battle phase. Opponent. Going to return our Fountain to hand. Alright, that is fine. Getting the Griffin Rider. Now, I am worried about another Mirror Jade, so in response to the activation of this Griffin Rider, I'm going to banish Mirror Jade from the graveyard. This will negate Mirror Jade's effect for 2 turns, this turn and the next turn. So they hopefully won't have an out to the Fisherman here. Opponent, summoning that Griffin Rider, going to battle, thinking they can destroy the Fisherman by battle. Opponent, have you not read Fisherman yet? It can't be destroyed by battle. Let's draw Runick Slumber. Get that field spell back online. Opponent just going to negate it. Alright, you know what? That's fine. Just responding to their own effect with Brandon in red. Getting a little excited. Opponent, what are you summoning? Adding that Comedy back to hand. And making another Taxes Dragon. Well, you know what? We don't want to pay taxes. So we're going to switch Fisherman to combat mode. Fisherman, get to combat mode. Kill that Masquerade. Fisherman cannot be destroyed by battle. Other 2,500 attack monsters get crushed by the might of the Fisherman. Let's send a Runick spell to the graveyard with Foolish Barrel Goods to get ourselves a nice little pot of greed. Pot of greed. Just nice little draw 2. And we draw into the DPE engine. Let's activate. Get DPE online. And now we're popping a card a turn. An opponent is 9 cards left in their library. Let's pop that Fateful Adventure. No more searching, opponent. But we actually banished that Griffin Rider, so it wasn't coming back anyway. Opponent, out of shame, attacking into the Fisherman. They are losing the will to live. Well, let's finish them off. Runick Destruction, gonna pop that spell. Banish some cards from our opponent's deck. Opponent down to 4 cards left. Fisherman unstoppable. Let's do a nice little single draw here. Get her another copy of Fisherman, and could it be? Could it be the fabled double Fisherman? It looks like it is. Get the second Fisherman. Get the second Fisherman. Get DPE. And we're not attacking this turn, but we're set up. We got the fabled double Fisherman. This is unstoppable. Even if opponent finds an out to 1 Fisherman, there's no out to 2 Fishermans. And don't say Lava Golem. That's illegal. You're not allowed to summon that. Let's go to battle. We got our battle phase back, and it's lethal time. Get in with DPE. Get in with Fisherman number 3, and get in with the Fisherman 4. There you go. That's how you get Fisherman 4 on the field. Alright, that was a pretty epic game, but I think we got time for one more. Alright, we got Fisherman. We get the tip. We got Called by the Grave. Now, tip is the best Runick spell, and opponent is activating Max C. Well, we don't want you to have any cards, opponent. So let's get Ash Blossom in. Also good to get an Ash Blossom out of the way now, since we got a second one. Runick tip. Gonna get the Flashing Fire, although we're just gonna be using it to special summon a Runick monster. And unfortunately, we gotta pass here. Why do we gotta pass? Well, we don't have another Runick spell in hand. You gotta have a second Runick spell, otherwise you're not gonna be doing anything. An opponent summoning the Chamber Dragon Maid. Let's negate with the Ash Blossom. An opponent has an Eldritch. Eldritch gonna target our Flashing Fire. So let's activate it now. Summon a Runick. Get that Hug in. Hug in effect. Can discard the Fisherman. Search for the field spell. It is disrespectful to discard Fisherman like this, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Opponent activating Eldritch in the graveyard. We're gonna use our Call by the Grave to banish, and we gotta hope. We gotta hope to draw a Runick spell. Runick spell is gonna be triple pot of greed. Eldritch is negated. Opponent setting a card and going into Striker Dragon. Opponent, do you have a way out? We're down to 2 cards left. We could be in big trouble here. Making a Heretic Seal. That's going to be able to bounce a card to hand. They could bounce our Huggin. Opponent not doing it yet though. Letting us get our turn. Using the card in the graveyard to get a Sanguine. That's gonna special summon another Eldritch from the deck. And we top deck a Runick card, and that is all you need. Let's activate Runick Fountain. Opponent, what are you doing? Opponent is activating the Heretic Seal in response to the Fountain. They're gonna send the Fountain back to hand. Opponent, we can just activate it again. What are you doing? Opponent summoning an Eldritch. I guess why not? Now's the time. Summon Eldritch before we banish it. Eldritch on the field again. Well, opponent, you know what? There's one way to deal with Eldritch, and it's the best way. Let's do a triple pot of greed. Banish some cards. Nice little pot of greed here. And look what it is. It's Fisherman time. Let's activate Foolish Barrel Goods. Activate the effect in the graveyard of the Ice Barrier. We are locked into waters, but where we're going, we only need waters. Let's normal summon Fisherman. Special summon Fisherman 3. Banish the Eldritch. Opponent, you have no more Eldritch. You have no cards in hand. We have Flashing Fire. We have a Fisherman. Do you have an out? Opponent gonna activate Golden Land in the graveyard. Setting a Conquistador. Activate a Dragon Maid. But they're finding out right now that that effect is not gonna work. Alright, here is Runick Fisherman. Now, I will say, this deck is very fun. And I am legally obligated to tell you that if you put Fisherman in your deck, you will win every game. That is a Fisherman guarantee. Can't lose when you put Fisherman in the deck. In the extra deck, we got all the Runick cards you need. If you have triple Huggin, put triple Huggin in. We got only 2 Huggins because I'm poor. We're not going to buy another Huggin. So we got 2. But if you can, put a third Huggin in because this card's really good. You're going to want to summon it as many times as you can. 1 Moon is fine though. Got triple Dog. We got DPE, we got Baron de Fleur, we got Sword Soul. You're not going to summon these. Gravity Controller is here to, you know, sometimes you want to link away your little monster. Maybe he gets stuck. Maybe he gets in a bad situation. You want to link him off. Gravity Controller can also attack monsters in the main extra monster zone, return them to the hand. So there's a good reason to have this. It is only an R as well. Nightmare Phoenix, Verite Anaconda, and Nightmare Unicorn. Now, really, the cards you're going to use most are the Runicks and the Verite and the DPE. I was at one point running a Ice Shade Tremora, which you could search for and special summon the Fisherman, but I found I never needed it. You always can summon a Runick monster from the extra deck using one of your Runick spells and just normal summon Fisherman that way. So I found the one Tremora not needed, rather just have more Runick spells to do some more triple pot of great action. Alright, deck is a lot of fun. The game's very interesting, very grindy, since our evil game plan is to mill out and use Fisherman as defense. So yeah, try it out, let me know how you like it, and thanks for watching. Have a good night.